Hello, welcome to this weather update. We did have some blue sky late for a good three hours today in the middle of the day, and of course I did get to the Pine Barrens, so that's good. But we have some stormy weather on the way, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's first start off with the satellite image from earlier this morning, so around 10 a.m. or so, 10 a.m. You could see we started off with a lot of cirrus, but we got lucky, and this clear break just formed right over us as this high was building down from eastern Canada, very dry air, and was able to actually keep a lot of the cirrus at bay. So that's why we were able to get outside and enjoy this really nice day today. It turned out to be, surprisingly. Wasn't looking that way when I first got up in the morning, but then things improved quite a bit. So let's take a look at the current conditions outside right now. We're going to actually refresh this so you can see the satellite image here. And you can still see most of the cirrus is still, little waves of it are coming in, but for the most part, it's being kept off to the south and west. Sorry, New Jersey. Poor folks in New Jersey couldn't get a break. They couldn't get a clear day today. What can I tell you? That's what it is when you're in New Jersey, because you're just closer to the front. So let's go ahead and take a look at the current conditions outside as far as the temperatures go. And some of the things going on. We have a winter storm, obviously, warning that has been posted for, winter storm warning, yes, for well inland and maybe parts of New Jersey here. Winter storm watch for much of the Hudson Valley. That includes Connecticut away from the coast, and then a winter weather advisory for coastal Connecticut, lower Westchester County, into parts of central New Jersey. And for us, nothing yet. Nothing yet. That could change. We also see gale warnings up here. And again, this is going to be quite a storm that we're going to have to deal with. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this storm. So right now, it's 40 degrees outside right now. And we have no observation from Farmingdale. Okay. Let's look at the latest briefing from the weather. I have another thing we can do, actually, if we wanted to. We'll go to the weather and hazards viewer. Now, if you're looking at this is where the storm is right now. You can see, look at these warnings. Looks like we have some, what is this, a winter storm warning probably? Winter storm warning in effect and a blizzard warning in effect for parts of South Dakota. And this storm was over. We're going to talk about this in a little bit here. It was over Arizona, and Flagstaff actually wound up getting hit very hard by that. So we're going to actually look at that too. But first, let's go ahead and look at some observations across our area today. It's unfortunate we can't get some, but it's generally fairly cool today. Highs only in the low 40s. Let's get the observations. I'll put them up here. So highs were only in the low 40s. We've dropped back into the mid 30s, and we're going to drop back further tonight because it's going to still stay fairly clear tonight, and that's going to keep, there's going to be some radiational cooling, especially in the Pine Barrens. So we could see temperatures drop into the 20s. You can see here is the winter storm watch, winter storm warnings issued for this system. So let's talk about what happened actually. Well, before we go to the models here, well, you can sort of see what we're talking about. This intense low here that just creamed the west here, creamed Arizona. Very strong winds, blizzard-like conditions. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what they were dealing with in Arizona and Flagstaff. And the Grand Canyon area. So this is what they had to deal with yesterday. You can see, look at that, whiteout conditions, and no power as well. So you can see here, look at that. You can take a look at this. I'll make this a little larger. Well, I'm not going to make it larger because it bugs out when I do that. But you can see these blizzard-like conditions here going on in Grand Canyon Village. And again, the power went out there because one of the transmission lines that serves, there's a transmission line basically that serves Grand Central Village and the town that's near there, Toyosan. So Toyosan was without power, and they were without power through the storm. It was finally restored early this morning. So this is what they had to deal with. This is Arizona Public Service, the electric company there. And I'll show you the picture here. Yes, Piney Woods. It is beautiful, but you can see that this power line actually broke. This is the transmission line that serves Grand Canyon Village, and this actually broke, and there are a couple of these that snapped. Don't ask me why they have these old poles. This is These remind me of the poles on the main line. I mean, they're actually really skinny looking poles. These poles can't withstand high winds. They should be putting metal or at least thicker poles in. Jeez. So there were a lot of down poles here. There were a couple of other pictures of down poles here, but there was one that was snapped actually from it, but I don't think we have any pictures of that. But there was one of those that was snapped. You'll have to trust me. A lot of the roads were closed. Flagstaff was hit very hard. I-40, I-17, all closed because of this. Lots and lots of snow there. And that's what I'm kind of curious about. Let's see how much snow they actually did get. So we're going to look at Flagstaff right now and take a look and see what snowfall they got. Because this is the storm that's heading our way. The energy for this storm is going to be moving over our area, and that's going to be partially why the storm's so bad. So right now in Flagstaff's 26 and clear, of course. But we want to take a look and see what the snowfall snowfall report map. Okay, so this is the reports here. So you can see here, look at some of these. 16.8 in Flagstaff proper, 19, 30 inches in the Arizona Snowball, 18.3. And like I said, it started out as rain and then switched to snow. And this is the very same storm that's coming our way. So that's why I'm talking about this. So Flagstaff did get hit very hard. Obviously, if we can see if we can get some more maybe information here. Flagstaff snow. Let's see. Well, let's see if we can get any more images here. So here is what it looks like outside in Flagstaff snowing. So yeah, here's another intense whiteout conditions south of Flagstaff. So this is the storm that's heading our way. I'll put this in the live screen. You can sort of see it there. But that's the storm that's heading our way right there. Now we're not going to see that here, but places interior northeast will see those kind of conditions. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. So definitely these areas are going to get hit hard. That's for sure. And we were looking at power outages. There were a lot of power outages in Arizona yesterday. A lot of them have been restored. But with those poles, I'm not surprised, man. They could definitely do better over there with their power infrastructure. So at least for Grand Canyon, that's ridiculous. That's a big tourist area, and you're gonna have wood. I mean, come on, especially those kind of wood poles. Anyway, and they go right through the middle of the pines there, as you could see. So anyway, let's take a look at the models and take a look what's going. Oh yeah, we got to look at this too. So let's talk about this winter storm watch briefing here regarding land hazards. No chance. All right, so here we go. This hazard of heavy snow of 6 to 12 inches, snow-covered roads, difficult travel, lower Hudson Valley, interior northeast New Jersey, interior southern Connecticut, Sunday a.m. to Monday p.m. Mixed precip. This is mostly for the lower Hudson Valley, interior northeast New Jersey, interior south Connecticut, and lesser extent elsewhere. And this goes from Sunday afternoon to early Monday, and Monday into Monday night elsewhere. Coastal impacts, could have coastal flooding as well from this as well. All right. So their latest snowfall map, they don't really give Long Island a whole lot, 2 to 3 inches. The higher amounts are inland, obviously, but this could all change. It's hard to predict what these storms are going to do. So if we look at the actual, I want to look at the actual satellite for the whole storm. Let's look at this. Let's go to the CONUS or North America. Can we go to? Well, we can actually look at the upper Midwest. Let's see if we can get a good. I'd rather just look at the whole country. Yeah, this is what I want. All right, so here you go. Here's the storm right here. So you can see here's the storm. This was the storm that hit Flagstaff. This is the secondary storm. All right, so you can see this moisture just shooting out here, coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, going all the way up to the north. All right. And if we actually make this a long loop, actually I could make this a 240 frame loop. So let's go ahead and do that. So you can see the evolution of the storm. It might take a minute or two to load. So here you go. This is the storm right here, and you can see it's spinning here. So it's what it's doing is it's going to transfer its energy to a coastal storm. All right. So this is the upper low, and this is the storm right here. Look at that. With a pretty intense cold front right there. And you can see it going through the day right there. And that nice long loop there, you can see how it's evolved. That's why I wanted to show you that. So let's go and look at the models and see where this thing takes us. So here is the GFS 18Z GFS run, and you can see here is the low, and this is the secondary low that's starting at the energy for the secondary. So this is your cut. There's actually going to be two separate storm systems. So here's this high that's built down. It's going to kind of wedge itself down. But it's actually the backside that we have to worry more about, because what's going to go on, you can see the energy transfer taking place. The low is tracking over the Great Lakes and then forms this coastal low just south of Long Island tomorrow night, just off the Jersey shore. All right, and this is the GFS again. And you can see where it's situated, we're going to get too much warm air coming in from the ocean, so it's going to be rain. It might start as a little light snow and then change to rain. But what happens is, as we go into Monday and the storm kind of just sits around, hangs around a little bit, we get into the backside. And the GFS isn't that robust with the backside. Some of the other models are more robust with it. And this backside is where we could see some snow. Depends on how much moisture there actually is here. Right, GFS obviously doesn't show a whole lot. And you can see just how deep this low is, 988 millibars. This thing gets really deep, gets really wrapped up. And you can clearly see how wrapped up it is. And then we have a high that tries to build in for maybe later in the week, Thursday, and maybe we could get some clear skies then. I'm not going to go beyond. Well, I mean, I can show you a little bit of a look here. We have a really cold high that's going to build down for next weekend, but the whole focus is right now on this storm. So most of the weather update. What I'm going to be talking about in this weather update is the weather for this storm. And we'll look at later this week and the next week when we're done with this storm. We got to take one thing at a time, because this storm is something to. So let's go and look at the northeast. All right, so you can get another idea. Again, this is the GFS. Obviously, it's keeping us pretty much heavy rain, very heavy rain. See, looking at that really heavy rain, 995 millibar low, right off the Jersey shore. Kind of sits there overnight, and kind of still sits there. Monday morning, we're still dealing with this low, and then finally it starts to move away. The GFS doesn't really show a whole lot of snow on the backside, so accordingly, I probably won't see too much snow. So we look at the total snowfall, you'll see nothing for Long Island. All the snow is north and west of the city. Okay, so if we look at the amount of total precipitation, let's go and look at that. Total accumulated precip. You'll see it's going to be a soaker, so we're going to get a lot of precipitation, over an inch, probably an inch to 2 inches of liquid equivalent or rain over our area. It's going to be a soaker. Okay, so now we look at the thermodynamics and take a look and see why the GFS keeps us as the rain. So has us cold right through tomorrow, still struggling to get out of the mid to upper 30s, but then you can see this tongue of warm air that comes in tomorrow night on the GFS, and it's close enough that it's just going to keep the coast rain, and heavy rain at that. So you can see that some of the air buoys offshore could wind up getting quite toasty. That's the warm sector there. There could even be some thunderstorms forming in that warm sector. Then it moves away, and the temperatures drop Monday, and then that colder air comes in. So the question is how much moisture is going to be there when we have this colder air. GFS doesn't seem to think there's going to be all that much. Let's look at the dew point. This is another measure of areas where it'll snow. You need it below freezing. You need a dew point below freezing to generally have snow. So see, it starts off maybe as a little snow, but then the dew points come up for Sunday night, and you can see also to the winds as well. And dew points come up well above 30, probably into the 40s, and that's enough. And you can see, look at these. Could be some dew points up near 60, not that far off the South Shore. It's going to be a real tropical feed coming off, but hopefully this tropical feed stays away. But it's going to be close enough to keep us all rain. And you can see that really strong easterly wind too that's going to come up from this system, and then it moves away. And then those dew points drop as we get more into Monday, and that would favor more snow. All right. So obviously, really dry air over the area today. Dew points only in the single digits. Really nice dry air, single digits and teens. Nice dry air. That's what you want to have. But anyway, so that is the GFS. But obviously, models have different opinions, and the NAM has a totally different opinion on this. So let's see if we can get the NAM to load here. It's actually being a little slow, actually. Actually, I don't want that. I don't want that one. I want the 12 kilometer. Okay, so first we're going to look at the NAM as far as the dew points go. We'll start off with that, being that we're in that area. You'd see that dry air. NAM is a little slower. Well, that agrees with the GFS, lifting those below freezing dew points out of here. So we stay heavy rain, and look at those winds. And then you can see it keeps it up. But what will happen is Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday, you see those dew points drop. And that's when, if there's any precipitation on the backside, it would be snow. So now let's go ahead and look at the precipitation on the NAM model. This is sort of a tricky forecast, but I really don't see Long Island right now getting all that much snow. We'll see what happens. Let's see what the NAM is. So you see the NAM, here we go. Heavy rain. Got some yellows over us. Probably starts 4 or 5 o'clock. Gets really heavy rain, winds. And you can see that low kind of just bombing out south of Long Island. But what happens is, as we go into Monday, still has it raining over us in the afternoon, but then starts to slowly change it over to snow right toward the end. And as it slowly pulls away Monday night into Tuesday morning, that's when you see the snow. And it could linger over the east end until maybe even noon Tuesday. So let's take a look and see what the NAM has for snowfall. It's probably going to look a lot different. You could see that already. It has a totally different look, and you can see, obviously, it has much more snowfall accumulation. Over Long Island, it gives Long Island 4 or 5 inches, and the city 6 or 7 inches. I'm kind of in agreement with the Weather Service right now. I don't think I think this might be a little overdone. Just because of the NAM has a tendency to really be a moist model. You have to kind of come in between the two, but I don't really see. Things could change, though. Like I said, we have to kind of almost wait until the storm gets started. But the main thing is it's going to occur on the backside of the storm. That's where the coast will see its snows. Inland, the whole thing could be snow. And that's why you see some really high amounts up here. Let's see the liquid equivalent on the NAM. So, and you can see the NAM is wetter. It gives us more. It gives us 2 inches or more of liquid equivalent. So you can see it's a lot wetter of a solution, obviously, compared to the NAM, compared to the GFS. We'll look at the temperatures. Okay, so again, you got that tongue of warm air, and then temperatures crash Monday afternoon, and that's when it changes over to snow. But whether it's going to accumulate that much, it's really hard to tell. The NAM may be overdoing it a little bit, but I don't think we'll get no snowfall. So that's why I'm in agreement with the Weather Service. A couple of inches accumulation, mainly on grassy areas, is definitely possible for Long Island. But it's all on the backside, not to start. There might be a couple of flakes to start, but that coastal, that warm air comes in from the ocean, or I'm going to say warm air, but warm enough to keep it as rain. So that's the NAM model. I'm not going to look at the HRRR. Let's go look at the windy.com site, and we will go ahead and look at the Euro now and see what the Euro has. So, and I want to look at the wind too. This is another factor I want to look at. So let's look at the wind as we head into tomorrow afternoon. You can see the winds are already starting to pick up, and you can see that easterly fetch coming in. So east at 29 miles an hour offshore, which is pretty, pretty substantial. Whoops. The east of 15, which isn't too bad inland, obviously. What happens is the winds pick up, so we go to 8. You see, look at that. All right, 8 o'clock, look at what's going on. So these are sustained winds. Looks like the middle of the island will have the least amount of sustained winds. We're still in the green, so we're not doing too bad. Northeast of 20, but if you're at the coasts, you're going to have winds sustained closer to 30 miles an hour. And on the forks, sustained winds in the mid-30s. And offshore, you're going to have sustained winds near 40 miles an hour. And you can see that boundary right here. And then as we go into 4 a.m., still got those strong winds. Noon, finally the winds back off a little bit, but then we're dealing with the snow. We'll have to see how much snow is going to be predicted on this Europe. You can see the low is sitting here. And that's the problem that we have. This low is just going to be sitting here. It's going to take its sweet time pulling out, and that's what gives Long Island its chance for some snow on the backside, depending on how much moisture there is. So now we're going to look at wind gusts. and we're going to see these wind gusts. So here we go. This is where it gets a little crazy. So here's 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and you can see in the middle of the island we're going to have wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. It's like it's going to be windy, rainy. It's going to be horrible. Temperatures is still going to be kind of chilly. Temperatures in the low mid 40s. But again, on the coast, you're going to have northeast east winds. This is going to cause some coastal flooding again. 52 mile an hour winds. We'll go up to 10 p.m. here, and that 48 mile an hour winds. Gusts are in the middle of the island again. Less wind gusts, but still bad. There's still going to be some scattered power outages. 52 on the forks, and again offshore and at the coast, you're going to have maybe some 60 mile an hour wind gusts. Again, this is the Euro, and then winds start to back off a little bit, but there's still going to be an extended period of wind. 51 mile an hour. And you can see the circulation is still sitting here. So it's going to be sitting there for a while. And that's the problem. It keeps us in the wind quite a while. And then as it kind of moves away, you see, look at these temperatures getting lower and lower. And that's when we have the colder air. And if there's moisture, that's when we have our snow. And it still keeps the wind machine going at 8 p.m. We're still dealing with gusts in most of Long Island up to 38 miles an hour. And the east end gusting to 50. This storm is going to be a bomb cyclone type of storm. Obviously, it's going to intensify, re-intensify. You got to remember the energy that was over Flagstaff. It's all connected with this storm, and then we finally see more of a northwesterly flow. So the other thing I want to look at is dew points. You see, this is noon. You see, you start off with the dew points below freezing. That's where it could be snow above freezing over here. Look at how much this is dew points. So Tom's River already has a dew point up to 46, so they're not going to have to worry about any snow. And look at that. You can start getting humid on the Jersey Shore, muggy as we head toward 5 p.m. According to the Euro, dew points up in the low 50s. Long Island, not quite as bad. We'll have dew points in the mid 40s, but you can see the moisture, the tropical air that's going to be coming up, and that's what's going to keep this as rain, and quite heavy rain too. So here we go into 9 p.m. You can see dew points well above freezing. It's north and west of this line here where the snow is going to pile up. We're going to be dealing with the heavy rain, and then we'll go into 12 a.m. Still dew points above freezing, so still rain. 6 a.m. we're still having dew points above freezing, so still rain. Let's go at 10 a.m. Still dealing with the storm center is still sitting. You can clearly see the storm center is literally going to move maybe 30 miles in 12 hours, if that. So it's going to get stuck there for a little while. And then it starts to slowly move a little more the afternoon. And as it does, we start seeing the cold air come in, and this is where it would obviously be snowing. And let's go to the 7 p.m. And this thing's still sitting there. It's still sitting there. So we have this, again, bad situation when you have a storm just sitting there, not moving at all. Because it's been kind of cut off. It's an upper level low, and it's also, there's a high to the north and the east, so it can't move out. So you could see this, and if this is snowing heavily, that's when it could pile up. Let's go to 1 a.m. And look at that, it's still there. It's still there, 1 a.m. Tuesday. So the Euro really moves this thing, crawls this thing. Doesn't get out of here until Tuesday. So, with that, let's go and look at the weather. Now we'll move this back to Sunday night, rain, thunder. And you'll see this is where you're going to see the frozen precipitation for us, just rain. Let's see, and you can see maybe chances of thunder off. Look at this. Yeah, there could be thunderstorms not that far off to the south of Long Island tomorrow. This is going to be quite a storm, So you get these thunderstorms off to the south. I mean, it's now December, and we're talking about thunderstorms. And yes, we'll talk about November statistics in a video after we get done with this storm. All right. So we are 5 a.m. We're still dealing with. You can see the frozen precip getting a little closer. Let's go now to 11 a.m. And now you see that band of frozen precipitation. Looks like setting up maybe over New York City, northern New Jersey. Let's go to 5 p.m. It still has the east end, probably not cold enough yet, but cold enough in Nassau and the city that it's snowing. 5 p.m., 10 p.m. snowing. Maybe not heavy, but it's snowing at a good clip. 7 a.m., and it's still hanging out over the east end and noon. So let's see, how much snow does this give us? Let's take a look and see. Alright, so this is the snowfall next 3 days. So let's see. 2.6, so it doesn't give Long Island all that much. Gives the city a lot more. 8.4. Yeah, 10.3. So north and west of the city is when you have those high amounts. And even the city itself is going to see 6.2. So Staten Island could see more. So you can see what's going on. You got this marine air being thrown over Long Island that keeps the totals low. And that's what I'm thinking too. So the Euro and the GFS kind of in agreement. This is going to be an intense storm. It's going to be an intense storm. Well, now go look at the waves because it'll show you what it's going to do to the ocean. So let's do 4 p.m. That don't look too bad. It's 4 p.m. Sunday. Oh yeah, there's 9 p.m. So here you go. The waves start picking up. You can see, 11 foot already. Oh boy. So yeah, this is going to be quite a storm to watch. It's 2 a.m. Look at this. So you're going to have some real coastal impacts from this. And again, because it's going to linger, it's going to hang around, it's going to be a long duration event with the swells, 13 foot. So there's going to be a lot of coastal flooding again. You know, they're trying to rebuild Dune Road. It's been in the news. Chuck Schumer wants to pour more money into it. Just give it up already. Nature is taking it back. Sea levels are rising. You're not going to be able to stop it. But, Chuck Schumer, he certain demographic is there, and they're very vain, they're very stubborn, they just love the South Shore, and they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. They just, they want to think that they think they can stop the ocean. They think they can stop nature. I mean, how freaking arrogant you have to be that you think you can stop nature. I'm sorry, but that's arrogance, and it's a waste of money that could go to better things, Chuck Schumer. But he's a Wall Street guy, so all he cares about is all his Wall Street friends probably have summer homes over there. All right, so the waters finally die down over there as we go toward Tuesday. All right, last but not least, we'll look and see if we can get rid of these clouds. So maybe we can get rid of the clouds later Tuesday. Maybe have a clear day. And then we're going to have more clouds Wednesday. And Thursday, we just look at this a little bit. We got lucky today having that clear day. I don't think we're going to have another one for, at least not until next week, until the weekend. So we'll go and look at the NAM on this, on the clouds. So there's a lot to talk about in this weather update, tremendous amount. So here is Sunday. See, the clouds rolling. Let's see. And this is only going to go as far as Tuesday. That's the NAM. Let me go to the GFS. It's honestly all we have. Because it's so maybe clears out a little bit Tuesday. Tons of clouds Wednesday. Maybe Thursday will clear out. Thursday actually looks like a day could clear out before Friday. More clouds roll on Friday, and then this cold front comes through Saturday. It could get really cold behind that front. I'll just show you that. See, the temperatures will be really cold behind it. So temperatures only in the mid-30s probably. So I'll definitely keep you posted on this storm. We'll go back to the NAM, and I want to just look at the higher resolution NAM to show you the precip again before we wrap this up. So this is the higher resolution NAM here, and you can see this really heavy stuff. Look at that, reds. Could be thunderstorms tomorrow night. Would not surprise me. There's a lot of moisture coming from this. It's pulling a lot of moisture up this storm. It's going to be another unusual type of storm. Not a typical nor'easter by any stretch of the imagination. A lot more moisture and just a strange kind of storm that just sits there. So I'll keep you posted on this storm. And again, I would recommend highly avoiding travel tomorrow night. It's just going to be heavy rain. It's going to be horrible. And then Monday, we're going to be dealing with that rain changing to snow. It could be slippery, but I don't expect major accumulations for Long Island. New York City, you could see 5 inches. North and west of New York City, you're going to see even more than that. As far as the southern part of New Jersey, where Tom's River is, you're probably barely going to see anything. So with that wraps up this weather update. I will keep you posted on this storm. So have a good night. Thank you for watching.